Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to Salam Media. I'm your host for tonight, Thaakir Dawood. We're going on to the second segment of the show where we're going to be chatting to Capetown City's marketing brand manager, Natalie Barlow, who's been making waves in Africa, waves in South Africa and in Europe. She has recently become the first woman in Africa to graduate from the prestigious UEFA with a prestigious UEFA certificate in football management. I mean, that's massive. The first woman in Africa. I mean, this is big. But right now, we've got Natalie on the line. She's going to be telling us all about what it's like to be a woman in football and the challenges that she faces and what it's like to make history on this country, on this continent of Africa. Good evening, Natalie. How are you
Good
doing?
evening.
Thank you so much for
I'm well,
taking the
thank
time
you.
to join me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show.
It's only a pleasure. It's only a pleasure. Natalie, jumping straight into it. I mean, let's not waste any time.
Let's
You've
do this. What is
recently,
it that's like to know?
you've recently graduated from the UEFA with a UEFA certificate in football management. But before we
Yeah.
get there, where did your journey in sport begin?
Okay, so I'm originally from Bloemfontein. I grew up there. My family's still there. I lived most of my life there. It's a town where I learned all about hard work and how it pays off. I started at Bloemfontein Thaakir. I think it was in 2001. They were still playing NFC or 2000. I'm now not 100% sure. And after I was there for a while and I moved out of football. And of course, I have a passion for football and I just wanted to get back. I relocated to Cape Town and not long while I was here, I found myself at IX Cape Town as a personal assistant. And our current chairman was actually the chairman at that time at IXL as well. When he started Cape Town City, I was lucky enough to be one of the few that he called to join his team in 2016. And I think since 2016, I've just learned a lot from him. And I've actually, I've actually surprised myself what I can do. So that's basically my journey in football.
Look, talking about surprising yourself, you've certainly surprised South Africa as well. What was your vision when you started at Cape Town City?
When I started at Cape Town City, it was clear what the chairman's vision was. We wanted a team for Cape Townians, a team that they can call their own. We wanted to win. He is a winner. He wants to win, and I think we all want to win. My vision was to be part of building the successful story with him. I obviously have a lot of faith in his leadership, and I knew he would need a team behind it that can realize this dream and make it a reality with him. So for me, it was just to put in everything, give the best that I can, focus on my work, and build a successful story with him.
And you certainly are recently doing the release of your new jersey for the season to come. I think it was so heartwarming and it touched the hearts of many South Africans that Cape Town City is actually a club for the people.
Yeah.
Natalie, before we move on,
Yeah.
you've decided to do your qualifications through UEFA. Why exactly did you choose UEFA over the other institutions in South Africa and the world?
I wanted to improve myself in my position I am at the moment at Cape Town City, and I love a challenge. I always go and look for a challenge. And when I heard about the UEFA program, I thought it would be definitely a great opportunity to learn from like some of the best world football minds in the world. I feel that there's a challenge to improve myself and obviously step out of my comfort zone and to see how things are done on the European level compared to how we are doing it in South Africa. You know, sometimes it's like you said, I could have gone to another institution here in South Africa, but it's going to be what we normally do here. So I wanted to learn what everyone out there in the world is doing. How are they doing it in Europe? And of course, our chairman again always tells us, you know, we need to constantly improve ourselves in order to keep improving the club and football in South Africa. So for me, to just go to another institution here in South Africa. I thought going and to learn from Europe, I can bring something different back to South Africa. I can learn. And it doesn't mean what they do, they will always work in South Africa, but I'm sure there's something I can learn and bring back to South Africa. So that's exactly why I decided to go do a course through UHEFA instead of any other institution in South Africa.
No, definitely makes a lot of sense. And in a lot of instances, you'll find that Europe is so far ahead of Africa. And I think it's always good to learn from industry leaders, because then we could get South Africa to the same level or even better come the near future, administratively, that is.
Yes.
Natalie, the course that you did for all the marketing heads and all the youth out there that aspire to be just like you, because you've certainly become a role model, and for many South Africans, male and female, that is, what exactly did the course consist of, and what were some of your most challenging modules that you had to overcome?
So the course we had 3 face-to-face seminars, which was 2 at UHEFA headquarters and 1 in London. But unfortunately, due to COVID, we couldn't do the last seminar and we had to do everything virtually. The modules that we had was Worlds of Football, which gives you a lot of background of what happens with the rules and all that kind of things in football, how football works from FIFA and downwards. That was one of the modules. We also strategic and operational management, media, PR relations, events, stadium management, volunteering, marketing and sponsorship. So it covered quite a lot of things in football. I think the most challenging one for me was definitely strategic management. I've learned that even myself, that I haven't been planning properly, and how I can better improve myself and plan ahead. And however, we must always be open to changes. And I think sometimes, like being so long in the football industry, you always find that there's rules in place and everything needs to go according to those rules. We had a virtual simulation for the Champions League game, where they gave us quite a lot of triggers to solve on the match day. And I was in the marketing department, and what happened every time you hear a sponsor or a fan or a supplier or there's something that's happening, I went with the rules. And they actually told me that, why do you keep blocking everyone with the rules? No, sometimes rules are there as a guideline. You need to try and be open to change it. If something happens on the match day and it can improve your fan experience, it can improve something for your sponsor, whoever, you need to be open to changes and try and bend some rules here and there. So I think that was the kind of thing. The strategic management was quite a challenge for me, and learning that I always need to be open to changes, change things, not go with what I know and that's the right way.
That's so exciting. It's a dream for everybody, just listening to you talk with so much passion about what you've been put through. I think it's quite cool. Natalie, you've now returned to South Africa and you're back with Capetown City. How do you plan on getting South Africa on the same footing as the rest of the world, using your qualification that you've obtained?
Yes. So firstly, I definitely don't think South Africa is far behind from other countries. I do think there's always room for improvement. We had quite a lot of speakers from the Premier League and people like obviously in football, and I've learned that there's so many things that we do in South Africa the exact same way. It's not like their level is much higher, like they're doing things much better. Everything, like, it's more or less the same. I can just say, like from my side, I can always contribute with what I've learned, share my knowledge with others in the industry. But again, it's us as South Africa, people in the South African football industry being open to changes. We're not far behind. We can better ourselves. I believe that everything starts at the top, especially changes. And at Cape Town City, I must say, we're fortunate at Cape Town City to work with a leader that's always open to change. We're a diverse group at the club, some with years of administrative experience, and others are young, very innovative, creative, and we always try and keep up with new trends. We learn from each other, and everyone has an input. And I think if we in South African football start opening up, giving others also a chance, learning from others, not like Natalie has this UEFA qualification, and the next young girl or guy comes in, work for Cape Town City, and it's my way because I have the qualification. That youngster knows something else that I don't know. And we can always learn from each other. And I think we need to be open, and everyone must have be able to give an opinion, like give an input when decisions are made, especially when we're planning things. We need to give everyone a chance to give their opinion on it. And I think that is what will make a change, will give us in South Africa another step up in the football. Yeah, that's what
definitely.
I think. We're definitely not behind, but we can do better. And I think we just all need to try and be open to a lot of things and learn from each other.
I think it's quite exciting because our league speaks for itself with the, I was about to say ABSA Premiership, with the DSTV Premiership that will be, that is front runners in Africa, being one of the most watched leagues and one of the most financially sustainable leagues in Africa, and certainly up there with one in the world. Natalie, you spoke a lot about change and being open to changes. Football has been a male-dominated sport for many years in this country, and especially the older generation are very reluctant to change, if I can put it in that context. They also give us a lot of guidance. For you as a female, how do you explain gender equality to the older generation that has more of a prejudice towards women in sport?
I definitely believe, football is changing on and off the pitch, and it is important for the voices of women in football to be heard. Like, there's so many women in football. I mean, I speak a lot to a lot of females at other clubs at the league, and the development for female leaders within the football industry is very important for the future of the game. And I think there's room for improvement to have more females to take on senior positions, but yes, it's all about people on the top to be open and allow this. Like I said earlier to you, I'm fortunate to work for like our chairman. He's open. He gives people opportunities. Like even with this sport, when I wanted to do it, he could have said, no, I'm not going to support you with it. But he was one of my number one supporters. So go learn it. Go better yourself. You're female. It's good for females to step up, for leaders to step up, and we need more people like our chairman in this industry. How you can change it, I think, is also if I look at myself, I think I also prove, us as females also need to prove to like the older generation, like you said, that we're capable to take control, we're capable of taking on senior positions. It's also not just them changing, trying to see the different, notice us. It's also about us putting ourselves out there and showing them what we're capable of. Working hard. It's all about us.
Definitely, women of the future, yourself, and there's Simone Conley as well. There's quite a number of female that's making waves in the DSTV Premiership.
Definitely. And I definitely hope that what I achieve can inspire many young females out there. Females need to step up, work hard, and break boundaries in this industry. We need to show that we're capable of doing what the men are doing out there.
Definitely, and in many occasions, doing much better than other men in the industry. And it's nothing wrong with that. I feel like it's nice. It's amazing that we could push each other in the sporting industry in South Africa so that we
Yes,
could become front runners in the world.
definitely, definitely.
Natalie, before I let you go, I know it's a Friday evening and you've got a lot on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
What would
Yeah.
your advice be to the next generation of football administrators and females coming through in the industry?
What would I advise them? Exactly like basically what I said now, work hard. If you know what it is that you want in life, if you want to be in football, nothing is just going to fall in on your lap. You need to work hard for it. You need to go out. You need to show that, like you said earlier, this is a male dominant industry. So you have to do something that makes you stand out. You have to prove it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate as well that we always have to do that extra. But if it is what you want a career in football, you want to have a senior position, you're gonna have to do certain things, and these things are you're gonna have to work hard. You are gonna have to step up and show the leaders out there that what you're capable of. Don't give up. If this is your dream, just work hard towards it.
No, definitely. Thank you so much for those words of advice. I know that the youth out there will definitely make use of it and find some inspiration in your story that they too can go on and push boundaries in every aspect in life for that matter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Natalie, before we let you go, can you let us in on any Cape Town City marketing secrets that we can expect this season? We know that you're always front runners on the social media platforms and also the
No, I
other platforms.
don't. I don't speak on behalf of the club. So no, there's no secret. If you want to know anything, they need to follow us on our Twitter, on our Instagram, and our Facebook, and everything is out there for you guys. We just launched our jersey today, and please go check it out. It's a beautiful jersey. It's like if you're in Cape Town, you have to wear that blue jersey.
Well, I'll be in Cape Town pretty soon. I will be there in December, having actually a gala dinner for myself, raising funds for a project that I'm busy with. So I'll definitely be wearing that Cape Town City jersey on the evening.
You have to.
No, Natalie, thank you so much for your time this evening. I hope that you have a good evening further and a good weekend. All the best for the season
Thank
ahead.
you.
Us at Salam Media
You.
are definitely going to be watching Cape Town City.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. That was Natalie Barlow, the first female in Africa to graduate with a UEFA certificate in football management. Definitely making waves in the football industry and the sport industry as a whole. For those of you that tuned in late, you can get this interview on Facebook, on the Salam Media Facebook page, as well as on Twitter. And the podcast should be up a bit later, maybe later on this week, all depending on our technical team. But that's it from me for now. We're going to be going back to ST. He's got a jam packed schedule for you this evening.